Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world. This is Carol Matebula saying, hi, 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 guys. How are you doing? So sorry, I've been away for some time, having to move to Belgium. And with this coronavirus thing taking place, I have kind of lost, how to say, lost my space, lost my voice, and trying to find out where I'm at and how am I dealing with all this systematic system that it's put against us. And whatever you do as a Black woman or as a Black man, you can never understand the depths of the manipulation of the system, how it hypnotizes you to become really, really confused and confused and confused. Now, today I thought to myself, um, most of us as Black people, we are out there talking about the struggles and talking about the problems and the truth is that I think as a Black person, you do not want to complain. You do not want to talk about racism. You do not want to talk about, you just want to live and you want to do your best. You want to be, because already as a Black person in the world, it's already a big stigma upon you because you're different. And there is no way you can hide or run away from the fact of the issues that you find yourself exposed with daily. It does not matter where you are. It does not matter how wealthy you are. It does not matter how much you try to cover the Blackness so that you can blend in. The mere fact is that what we're dealing with, it's things that we can never ever understand. And often we do not talk. And I'm saying this, you guys, because I think somebody might really, really wonder, why is she? Who is she? Who is Carol? Who is Carol Matebula? What does Carol Matebula represent? Now, over the years, I knew very well my identity. My identity was going to be health and well-being and mindfulness, and really working in this world peacefully, where I share my heritage of my African heritage that was given to me by my great grandmom, which was understanding the body, mind, and soul, so that you can, reside in this world peacefully while you share yourself freely and openly to the rest of the world, looking at the rest of the world as your brother and sister, meaning everyone who lives in it, that including the animals and etc. That's how I was brought up. And for years and years and years, I really knew my place. I knew my place in this world. I knew what I represented, even though there was some issues that I was dealing with. As you know, the thing that we need to know as human beings, we deal with things, we deal with things. And that's why we're here. And whatever that we deal with, we are here to grow. All our obstacles, all the things that we have been put upon, our challenges, our obstacles, are things that makes us to be who we want to be. But having to say this, having to know all that I wanted as a young Black woman, now I had to go and present myself to the world, which I did. I did this so well with I was fresh. I was still nurtured by the wisdom and the melodies of my elderly African queens who have went through hell and back, and they managed to conquer that. But upon that, what I have went through, my great grandmom died at the age of 114. My father he lived in times of apartheid. I remember my father had the worst operation I have ever seen, from here all the way down, and his hands were cut because he was sick. So when he was sick, he went to the hospital, and they would butcher these poor people because they didn't have a voice. Now, to come back now into the world, now having to introduce myself to the world, because that's what we do. We get driven by our dreams and desires and aspirations and ambitions, and then we pack our bags and we think that here's the world. Let me go to the world and share this wisdom that I have acquired from my background of my family. And you realize once you enter that you are looked at differently. You are looked at as, you have to remember who you are. Now, this is it's in the business side of things. And from that moment on, the life of terrorism has begun upon you. There's this systematic terrorism that it's a daily and every second of every minute. As a black woman or black man, you sniff, you're smelling it, and it can't go. And that terrorism, it's the word racism. Racism for me, it's terrorist. It's a systematic racism that is created to actually terrorize the black people. And this is on the business side now. Now, having to be me and coming from South Africa and live in Europe, and also observing the USA, how the black people are treated in the USA, you realize that it's not only the story of the USA. USA, it's just really it's they are very honest with what actually the systematic racism mean. You look at this poor guy who was killed Monday, George Floyd, I think is his name. The poor man, he was killed because of his death. It's not the only last. How many men who were killed without people taking the video? How many black people, dreams are killed because of their black? There is something that myself at this moment, I'm talking about this because of I'm in Belgium. And being in Belgium, I experience racism hard. It's very underlined, but it destroys your soul. It makes you feel like you have to live unhappy. You have to live as if you have nothing in this world. You have to live as if your how do you say, your resources as a black person don't exist unless if somebody gives you resources. And when they give you those resources, they own your soul. So it seems as if our soul, it's never free. So I'm talking about this because there is definitely something that we as black people need to realize, that we are different. You can date a white man. I've dated a white man. And being in a white relationship, that's where you actually get to see how does a black woman or black man get treated. Even in the word called love, there is no love. There is a systematic that these people are born, and it's really embedded deep in them, that as a black person, you have to be put in your place. And your place, it's that place of terrorism, being terrorized. There is a terrorism that happens, and I go through it every day. The fact that I'm not in Africa, I'm in Europe, I go through it. And when I see now, after going through this every day, every second, and you try to run away from the word racism, you try not to be busy with racism, and you realize, like for example, at this present moment, just gonna give you a hint on how dangerous we are put in as black people. For example, where I live in Belgium at this moment, since March of this year, I have struggled a lot with wireless connection. I don't know where does that come from. I've always managed to deal with wireless connection in the house, but the past since from March, I have developed wounds that were really really terrible. That's why I disappeared, because I had to kind of look after myself. And these wounds, you could see my throat and my neck, my chest, and so I had to find the way for me to be able to deal with this wireless thing. But now my the house where I live, my housemate, it's a white person. So, and he sees how I struggle, this white fellow that I live with. Now, every night I have asked, let's switch off the wireless connection, because when the wireless connection is switched off, then I don't struggle. And it's something very very strange. It seems as if the moment the wireless is there, I get my neck gets pulled, and it's like I suffocate. It's like somebody is strangling me. Now, with a white point of view, They have to work. It does not matter either the wireless, it's hurting me. What the man says to me is that, Carol, that's your superstitions. I'm sorry, wireless has to stay on. And he says to me, the wireless has to stay on because that's his bread. Even though when we wake up in the morning, we put on the contact of wireless on, in his view, the wireless and his business, it's more important than my life. And this is it. And I'm saying this because of I am talking about my experiences of what racism is. Racism, it's something that says your life as a Black person, it's constitutionally irrelevant. Your breath, it's not important. What is important, it's a white man keep on making financials, keep on making money, because of with the money in their hands, a white man feels like God. He feels like, and I'm saying this not because of suddenly somewhere I woke up and suddenly I'm racist. No, I'm not racist. I'm pointing out things that I see. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm suffocating with this wireless story thing. And I'm afraid that I'm gonna die. But I live in a situation that I'm living in a white man's world. And in a white man's world, you are nothing as a Black person. So when you see the men there in America, Floyd man, who was really killed with a knee of a man on his neck, the most vulnerable part of a human being, to kill somebody. A neck, as a therapist, I know the neck has lots of nervous system, and to sit on somebody's neck for 8 minutes, that's how a white man sees you. He sees you as, like, someone who would see a spider and they just step on a spider because a spider does not deserve to live. Which I always say, if you're a human being with sense of understanding life, you pick up the spider and keep it its own way, and you go your own way. So this thing, and why do we do that? A spider, it's not important. An animal, it's not important. And often, as Black people, we are more in danger than we think. In most of people's lives, white people, Black people don't matter. You might make your money. Somebody said yesterday, I made a video yesterday about Judge Floyd. I think it's Floyd. I'm so sorry. I can't pronounce his name so well. And I was very emotional because it touched me so much. And I share it to lots of places where I know that Black people are in, so that we can share our thoughts. And one Black woman came back and say, why do you share this thing here? It's business. And I say, it does not matter. As Black people, even in that business, for example, if you have to advertise on Facebook, just something very simple, you would always come last because of you are not important. In lots of things, Black people aren't important. Yes, some of us, we make lots of money. Yes, some of us, we make, and this is where I don't understand. I mean, having to live with this white brother in the house, and he knows that this thing can kill me. I even had to move to the cellar sometimes because of the electricity. It's like my whole body, it's in and in his mind is that you're taking out my breath. How does he say it? You're taking out my breath. No, you're taking out my bread. That internet wireless has to be on. So your life, it's not important. And this is your friend. You see what I mean? So there is something out there that I see that white people need to work on. Money, it's not everything. Money, it's not power, it's not everything. Seeking for power to be able to tell people what to do, and to even take knees and kill people because of, I'm a white man, I've got a license to kill. We need to wake up as Black people and realize that we are in danger in every situation. you know I live with this brother here because of, I classify him as my friend, really, really, as my best friend. And now my best friend chooses wireless so that he can be on the internet. He's not seeing that Carol, she's sick. I've seen wounds that I've never seen on Carol. No, because it boils down into I'm black. For him, what I'm saying is a complaint. I'm not seen. And it's really, really sad. And you look at what's her name, that woman, Amy, the one who screamed at a man in a park somewhere in America, calling the cops on him, saying that the black man was about to harass him. He was intimidated. She was intimidated by. So there's so many things that makes you wonder, when will the terrorism of a white man stop? How a white man looks at the black person. Yes, it's not only the white man who looks at the black person in a certain way. The fact that we have a woolly hair, we have a different shape in our faces, we've got a shape. That is the biggest challenge in the world. Why they're different, and in our differences, we have been put. We have been, it's a constitution. We have been put under constitution of 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. It doesn't matter how willing you are to participate in a woman in a human society where we are ready to work, we are ready to share our views, we are ready to hug, we are ready to love, we are ready, just being members of society we call earth, which we are brothers and sisters. I don't see a white man as my enemy, not at all. I wonder, when will a white man start seeing that everything is in this world, it's important. Everything in this world deserves to live. This fake news of white women intimidating people, and knowing that the law would come and immediately the law would listen to them, because there's a systematic terrorism that is created in this world to terrorize other people, and above all, to terrorize Black people. And I lose myself. I try to find myself. I try to be friends with everyone. I try, and with this video of mine, it's not like I'm saying to you, Black, white people, you are bad people, but I'm just saying to you that, why do you reside on the misery of others? I don't understand. How can a man kill a man who has already been beaten up on the floor with his knee, and you can see it in his face? The devil of this white man just came out and say, I'm going to leech his spirit. And he's sitting on top of him, really sucking on the energy of this man in his body so that he can feel powered. I've killed a Black man. You see this woman making an act, calling the cops. I'm being attacked by a Black man. He's attacking me with my dog. And please come, knowingly that when the cops get there, they wouldn't even ask. They will just take a gun and shoot a Black man. So I have, and I'm saying this because I've traveled the world, and I'm still traveling, and I've got to understand this world. It does not matter who you are. And the problem with us in our Black community, we think that I understand it. I'm classy. I've been educated to whatever. It does not matter what education you have. It does not matter either you have been a president. You look at people like President Barack Obama, how he was treated, even today, how he's still being treated. They give you this pedestal, and this pedestal is full of diamonds and golds and etc. But beneath those diamonds and golds, there's a poison that does not value your life. And so this is it. And being back in Belgium, it reminded me of, why did I leave this country to start with? I'm very valued in Belgium for the work I do. The world, Belgium knows what I can do with the body. I can heal the body in ways that lots of people are fascinated how I do this. And the only thing that I'm good for in this country, it's that. But I'm not good for friendships. When you go to parties with these people, sometimes in Belgium, a person would feel embarrassed that they are seen with you. So they will leave you there hanging by yourself, and they will hide themselves and come when they're about to leave, because for them, you represent something less. And these are the issues that you deal with. And I wonder, When will the human being start, stop living in isolation, white man? Stop living in this isolation of you're the only one among yourselves you can be. You have roamed the world. You have went to Africa. You have went to India. You have you have exploited the world, and you came to areas where we didn't even know that you existed. And you are in our homes. And when you are in our homes, you've got homes. You are always giving this safety. Why don't you give your fellow visitors, your fellow guests who are in your countries, the Black African Americans, they deserve to live in America as their home, as most of the white people anyway. America, it's not your home. You took it from the Indians, from the Red Indians. And today you're killing people because you're claiming. This for me, it's things that I talk about because of suddenly I'm questioning the intentions of white people. How do you think? Mm. You have made life so small. You have made human beings to breathe through the tubes of life instead of really enjoying the abundancy that the world has offered. The high open skies that all of us we can look there, and every one of us we have a power to see the vastity of the universe. But in you have created a white man, a system that seemingly it's very intelligent, but it's not, because this system it's based on predator. You are a predator that wants to be. That's why it's so fascinating that since I've traveled Europe, I see that the sign that it's used in Europe the most, that and they have acquired it as their symbol of their nations. It's lion, because of they classify themselves as lion. There's a difference between lions and humans. Lion hunts to eat. Lions become the king of the jungle because it has to eat. Now you, I don't know what is your roaming around for. You've got a soil you can apply. You can apply seeds. You've got food that sometimes you even make games with and throw to each other. On a daily basis, the food that it's thrown away in Europe or in this Western world, it's the food that can feed the world for years and years and years to come. Spoilness, it's my problem. So let us stop the systematic racism that actually it is at the end of it, terrorism, to terrorize others, to be friends with others and don't value their life. And you value money more than you value them, even though these friends have been there for life. They have been with you through thick and thin. And so this is my story today. You don't see me so well because I'm going through a massive trauma in Belgium. Trauma of trying to stay strong as a Black woman, trying to stay connected with something. How do I say it? It gives me tears actually, to try to remain with the Carol I know, even though I'm challenged on daily basis. This is my difficulties of being around the white man's land, and hoping soon that I can really, really get my ticket and get out of here and go back to Africa, where I can really, really be myself without feeling like you are completely irrelevant in this life we're living in. So this is Carol Matibula saying, let us find a way to live in peaceful as human beings. Let us find a way to beat the bubble. The peer pressure we get on this earth, it needs us joining hands together as one souls of humankind, and seeing one feeling better to have a little bit of a plate of food in their table, not to advertise the poorness of other countries that they are suffering, and you capitalize upon that. There has to be a spiritual change, especially now after this coronavirus. We can never look at the world the way we look at it. spiritual healing needs to occur. And spiritual healing needs to occur by just other people giving others a chance to live. Let's try to kill the darkness that roams around. As you can see, I've got this dark cloud around me because of I'm surrounded with darkness. So this is Carol Matibula saying, keep well, and I shall see you once my energy is a little bit up in these challenging moments where I find myself in. Bye for now, Carol Matibula.